This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee Hands-Free Law, which is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019. In Public Chapter 412, it makes it illegal for a driver to hold a cell phone or a mobile device with any part of their body, to write, send, or read any text-based communication, to reach for a cell phone or mobile device in a manner that requires the driver to no longer be in a seated driving position or properly restrained by a seatbelt, to watch a video or a movie on a cell phone or a mobile device, and to record or broadcast video on a cell phone or mobile device. So, can I still talk on my cell phone while driving? Yes. A driver is permitted to use an earpiece, headphone device, or a device worn on a wrist to conduct a voice-based communication. The driver may use one button on a cell phone or mobile device to initiate or terminate voice communication, and voice-based communication may also be used to send a text message. Learn more at handsfreetn.com.
Are you tired of going to the doctor with the same issue over and over again and never getting any relief? Are you tired of buying all types of vitamins and supplements, hoping but not knowing for sure that they will keep you healthy? Or are you getting enough of the right kind of nutrients that your specific body needs? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you need a nutritional blood analysis. With a nutritional blood analysis, we can take one drop of blood from a prick of your finger and analyze your body's nutritional needs, nutritional deficiencies, and nutritional imbalances. This analysis can provide an early warning of possible future health challenges so you can make the changes now to avoid the negative outcome. A nutritional blood analysis can be used to monitor a health challenge before and after adopting an approach to restore health and balance. It will also allow you the ability to determine the effectiveness of various approaches to restoring and balancing your health. So don't wait. Make your appointment. Stop guessing with your health. Know what works for sure. 901-602-7063.
Graphics Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all: color copies, resumes, funeral programs, rubber stamps, full-color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30-plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. Graphics Printing. CJ Used Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances have the best prices in town. Sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks, I'm telling you, they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJ Used Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances. C&S Motors Auto Sales, located at 2508 Summer Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-323-8778. C&S Motors Auto Sales has been around since 1984. Go by and see Chris today for some of the best pre-owned and used vehicles in the city. They have SUVs, minivans, cars, trucks, whatever you're looking for in pre-owned used vehicles. Hey, you can find it right there at C&S Motors Auto Sales. See Chris since 1984. They will treat you right. Call them at 901-323-8778. That's 901-323-8778. 2508 Summer Avenue, C&S Motors Auto Sales.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Pedestrian safety is a two-way street. Both drivers and walkers need to do their part to keep roads safe. When you're walking, remember, the drivers may not always see you, so remember to use these tips to continue to walk safely. Wear bright clothes. Always use crosswalks and obey signs. Lights and reflectors should be used. And finally, keep alert and do not walk distracted. This message brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Patrol.
Two minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock Central Time, and a very pleasant good morning to you on a Tuesday morning. Yes, a lovely, wonderful Tuesday morning, and starting your day off, again, 73 degrees under a mostly sunny sky, 901-21. Again, the number to call is 901-213-6020. Tell you what, we have a great show lined up for you today. As always, hot topics of discussion, news that you could use, local, national, international. And, well, let's get it on. Josh, good morning.
Good morning, Bob. Good morning, everybody out there listening this morning. Another great show we got lined up for you today.
Oh, yeah.
On this Tuesday morning, man, post Labor Day. Ready to get it popping, cracking, rolling, jumping, kicking, screaming, yelling, all that stuff on this Tuesday morning. I know a lot of y'all are feeling some type of way because you got to get back to laboring again because Labor Day is over. School's back, work is back, whatever you have to do. A lot of people still have to work regardless. But besides all that, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, for checking us out once again on this Tuesday, and a lot of stuff we got for you on today. Y'all come on in, see the people coming in on Facebook. Appreciate y'all. Y'all keep on coming in. And if you come in, go and hit us up with a good morning or whatever greeting you want to leave us with. And we definitely appreciate that. Also, to get an opportunity to, which everybody does, really, you can share this video. Start it off by sharing this video on your profile. If you enjoy the show, if you appreciate it, if you watch it, and you want people to know about what we got going on, well, hit the share button right there at the bottom and share it on your profile and let the people know about the best morning show in Memphis, Talk Back Live with Bob and Josh, and we definitely appreciate that. Also, follow us on social media, Twitter at Talk Back Live, one word, at Talk Back Live. Also, Facebook.com. You can search Talk Back Live with Bob and Josh. Like our Facebook page, check us out there, which is what you're watching us out here now. Also, Talk Back Live Network on Facebook as well, which we're live on that page currently, and WTBL Talk Back Live Network on Facebook as well. Our 3 Facebook pages, all with at least 400 likes. At the very least on those pages, 445. Talk Back Live with Bob and Josh has reached 601 likes, so I appreciate that. That was the goal, to get to 600. Now the next goal is 700. Let's get to those, man, and these shares that you guys do will lead to that happening as well. So share the video, support the show, comment. If you feel like calling in, you can do that as well. 901-213-6020. And we're ready to get it on.
All right, and I tell you what,
a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, let's go straight to the headlines.
Okay, here we go.
And in the headlines today, we got, well, you know, we had a long weekend. You had the Labor Day weekend.
Yes.
Where people had 4, maybe 5, maybe 3 days off, whatever days that you had off, and church as well. There's a lot of things that have happened over the weekend. And, fair comes to town every now and then.
Fair season.
Yeah.
September is fair season.
Yeah, and that happens, and all kinds of crazy stuff can happen at events. And, well, let's talk about it. Yeah, our first story today starts off with shots fired at the Delta Fair in, was that Germantown or Cordova or wherever? Prompts security upgrades. What's going on with this story?
Yes, sir. So y'all know the Delta Fair and Music Festival, which comes to the Agri Center each and every year toward the end of August into early September. And that's what's going on now, currently. Well, I don't think it is now. I think they're talking about ramping up security because of some recent events that have taken place at the Delta Fair, including a stampede of sorts because people panicked upon hearing gunshots. It was a shooting that went down. It was a prank that went down as well, and all sorts of things just led to a lot of bad stuff going on at the Delta Fair. So, surprised a lot of people because you're talking about the Agri Center now. This is way out there.
The fairground used to be, the affair used to come to the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Down, I guess, where you can, I don't know, by the Coliseum.
Yeah, the Coliseum and Liberty Bowl.
Liberty Bowl.
Right over
I don't
there.
know, can you call that black section of town mainly? I don't know. But
we know it is.
Yeah, but at any rate,
yes.
Fair actually came to the fairgrounds at the Coliseum, and then all of a sudden it was called the Delta Fair. And it moved up to where Germantown, Cordova, and all that area is up there.
The Agri Center.
Now, to me, was this a signifying that, okay, you have yours and we have ours? And what I mean by that, folks, some folk would say, well, I don't want to get into racism and all that. That's ungodly. Well, look, folks.
Oh, man,
reality. Okay, that's where we live. Reality. And you have problems at the other fairground, where the fairgrounds was, the fair was. Then they moved it to the Delta Fair up in Germantown. So what are they trying to tell us? Whites go one place, blacks go another place, but they didn't say that.
No.
Hoping that people would catch on to really what's going on or what they were trying to say. I don't know. But, yeah. The story tells itself.
Yes. So it's interesting to say the least. What's happened now? I guess it's almost one of those things where you can say, can you even run from this type of thing?
Yeah.
But we got the story here. It'll break it down, the whole situation. We'll be back.
Yeah, 901-213-6020 is the number to call. You have comments or questions or anything on the topic that we're talking about this morning. And let's take a listen to this and we'll be back.
Rebecca Butcher spoke with witnesses from that night and fairgoers who went today. Do they feel any safer with new measures put into place? She joins us live from the fair at the Agri Center tonight. Rebecca, I know locking up the shooter would help folks feel safer for sure. Has that happened yet?
Well, Richard, so far, nobody is charged in this shooting incident. The Shelby County Sheriff's Office, they're still investigating. Right now, witnesses are telling us that they heard about 5 to 6 gunshots. Meanwhile, we know one woman actually cracked her skull while trying to rush out of here. She was hit by a stampede of people trying to get out of harm's way.
She doesn't want to go back next year. She definitely doesn't want to go back this year. And I don't know. It might be something that would be looked at later on down the line. You know, I guess with time, memories fade.
Destin Bobbitt and his 9-year-old daughter, Maddie, were at the Delta Fair Saturday when bullets went flying. They tried to run to safety like several families in this cell phone video. Norman Frisbee and his wife, Laura, were also caught up in the stampede. She was knocked down, cracking her skull.
She had turned around, and it was a crowd of people rushing there. And she got knocked over, and she hit her head on the concrete there, and her head started bleeding.
The Delta Fair initially posted on social media that fireworks were set off as a prank, sparking outrage online by people who heard the gunfire. It turns out there were 2 incidents. The fireworks happened about 5 minutes before the shooting Saturday night. Organizers are now ramping up security, buying more security wands, and adding extra personnel.
They did have a lot of the sheriffs. They were in go-karts patrolling the area, and they're also checking bags as people are coming in.
Parents who brought children on Labor Day want their safety to be number one.
Because you have a lot of small children as well as, up to adults and people that are in, wheelchairs that probably can't get out fast enough. So they need to make sure it's safe for everybody that's coming to enjoy it.
Yeah, and right now authorities are still looking for this suspect. Early information actually indicates that the shooter is a man. If you have any information like cell phone footage or any video from that night, you're urged to contact Crime Stoppers. That number, 901-528-CASH. Reporting live tonight at the Agri Center, I'm Rebecca Butcher, Local 24 News.
Thank you.
Coliseum years ago. And then all of a sudden the Delta Fair came and moved to Germantown. And so,
and just to be clear with that, now they didn't move. There was a new fair.
Well, that was
and,
a new fair.
And matter of fact, they were going on at the same time for a minute.
Right.
Until the Mid-South Fair just completely left the fairgrounds.
Well, the Mid-South Fair now is down in Mississippi.
Yeah, and they just came back over the past couple of years.
Right. So it's not at the fairgrounds anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the situation at the Agri Center is where it's being held.
The Delta Fair.
The Delta Fair, yeah. Is that any safer now that the people have don't have a place to go in the fairgrounds? Now they're going up to Germantown and going to the fairgrounds there. So are we saying that because of the crowd or the type of people that are attending the fair, now is this the reason why we have so much going on, so much craziness, so much gunfire, and all this other kind of stuff? Seems like there's always something going on since it's been open. The whole city goes there now, every year.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Now, the Delta Fair.
Some people might get offended at what I said.
No. But here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before you elaborate more, I think with the Delta Fair, they haven't had something all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But over the past few years, it's been a little bit more than usual.
That's enough. Past few years, absolutely.
Well, because before there was literally nothing nothing of legitimacy. Now, the only thing that you were worried about, because the past few years the only worry was there was some concerns with some of the rides.
Yeah,
with some malfunctions. But now it seems like you got to worry about some other things. So it almost makes you wonder, can Memphis already lost so many things that are fun like that.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about, with Liberty Land, which was out there.
Oh, that was a big one, yeah.
You talk about Celebration Station.
Where was Liberty Land?
Yeah, it was out there at the fairgrounds.
At the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
By the Coliseum.
Yeah.
You had Liberty Land. You had the fair used to come there every year.
Oh, they used to be together.
Oh, they were together.
It's a big giant.
Then they end up moving Liberty Land, and then they end up moving the fair from there.
Well,
the fair doesn't go there anymore.
Liberty Land shut down.
Liberty Land shut down. Well, why?
Yeah. Oh, because
why? Because of the region, the part of the city that is in. And so you have. So what's going on? Are we looking at things that are leaving the black community because of crime? Because of the way people behave, or things of that nature? I don't know. But what do you think? 901-213-6020. Now, you're talking about certain type of people. The black community can be really, really bad, and and the thing about it is, I think there needs to be a little more where people are reaching out to the community. You have a lot of churches in Memphis, especially black churches, if you can say the black churches. You have pastors and bishops and apostles, but some believe that there's not enough outreach in the community to be able to help change things in the black community. What can be done? What can they do? What else can they do to help change things in the black community? If you have churches on every corner, or, like you go down the street, and I've traveled down the streets and looked, and I've seen 3 and 4 churches back to back, but why, and what purpose are they serving if the crime rate is increasing? Maybe somebody want to answer that question. I don't know, but seems like there's not enough going on to cause change.
Okay, now I understand that.
And then you have things leaving in the community.
Yeah,
and then people want to wonder why, or people just don't say anything at all. Just sit back, observe, and watch all of these things leave the community where they live.
Yeah. So okay, I understand that now. With the churches and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm like this. So why does it seem like, this is my main question when it comes to the fairs and all this stuff? Because these are fun things to come to the city, right? You don't want stuff to happen. But now that it seems like, it's kind of been one of those things, is it something to be concerned about? Is it something that the city can do? Now, I know the Delta Fair said they're going to increase security. I mean, that's really all you can do, right?
Well, that's the Delta Fair, not the city.
Yeah. I mean, but do they even need to get involved in that?
What, city?
Yeah. I mean, like, what can you do? Like, you already got your officers down there.
Well, the city's already trying to hire new officers. You have the sheriff, you have the Tennessee Highway Patrol.
It's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if people still getting in there doing stuff, I mean, it is what it is. It makes you wonder, is this why some of these businesses or places like this don't feel comfortable coming here sometimes?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, the first thing is that if my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray.
Yeah.
People are not talking to God. And there's not enough people talking to God to save the community or the city from what's going on. And, prayer changes people, and then people changes things. But there's not enough going on. We have a lot of churches, and I'm not criticizing the churches. There's a lot of good churches that are doing great things in the community. Black churches I'm talking about. But then there are those that just pop up out of nowhere with 4 and 5 members, and some of them have 100 members or whatever the case may be, and they're doing nothing. They're just there because for, one reason or another, and one of the main reasons, I think the reason we have a lot of churches doing nothing and not causing any change is because maybe one pastor got mad at another pastor that was working for another pastor or a part of that church, and they decided they go their different ways. And so therefore, when you have 50 churches in one city, black churches, I know there's a lot more than that here, but where it starts, if you got 50 churches, and then all of a sudden there's a split in all of those churches, all of a sudden you have 100 churches. And if that keeps going on, then you're going to have a lot of churches in the city that really doing nothing.
But real quick now, and I agree with you. And
then we get results like this. You can't have the fair to come down to the fairgrounds anymore. Liberty Land is gone. Some other things that used to be in the city have left. And so now we're having problems at the Delta Fair up in the
Agri Center.
The Agri Center. Yeah. So and basically when they had the fair at the fairgrounds, and then they had another one at the Agri Center. That was basically to divide the community, to me.
Yeah, I mean, I
was saying, whites, you go here. Blacks, you go here. You have your fair, now stay down there.
Yeah.
Whites, we got ours up here.
I don't disagree with you either, because
I'm not saying that's all white community, but for the most part.
I mean, it's clear. You go out here for a reason. Now, I'm not just saying that's the main reason, but this was the way that you could tell. I mean, the certain type of entertainment that the Delta Fair had.
Yeah.
With the country singers and the rodeos and the pig wrestling and the hog tying contest.
Black folk don't wrestle pigs?
Well, no. I mean, I don't know if you wrestle pigs, but y'all had pigs.
I was raised on a farm.
Yeah.
We had pigs. Yeah.
Y'all didn't wrestle them, did you?
Well, you got to catch them to get them.
Yeah,
mean, we did sometimes do other things to them before they were actually killed. We had to do other things as well.
I understand that. But I'm just saying, like, I think, the black community, it's true, Kelly. The black community, and what's up, Frankie? I'm glad to see you this morning. Y'all know, the black community ain't coming down there for no, picking and grinning, like a hee-haw. You know what I'm saying? So
is that the only kind of entertainment they had?
That's what Delta Fair was doing for a long time. Okay. I don't know, like the past couple of years, I hadn't paid that much attention. But when the Mid-South Fair left, there really wasn't too much else for folks to do. If you wanted to go to the fair, you had to go down there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is. But now, you got, and I will say this, maybe this is a good thing. Is this a good thing that you got more fairs popping up? You got the Bluff City Fair, which I don't know if it's going to be this year or not, but the past 2-3 years has been back at the fairgrounds, which is a new fair. The Mid-South Fair is in South Haven. They moved to the Lander Center parking lot.
Yeah.
So that's clearly a much safer environment.
Well, that's for, the South Haven, Mississippi community. That's for those people that left Memphis, want to get out by themselves.
Yeah.
And so they have that now. The Mid-South Fair say, hey, we don't even want to be down at the fairgrounds anymore. It's too dangerous down there. So let's go down to South Haven, Mississippi. That's North Mississippi, yeah. So, but at any rate, what do you think, folks? Comments are coming in. Good morning, Greg. And
Kelly, I see you, brother.
Yeah. On these things, and have several other people to come in here and check in. 901-213-6020. And what do you think of the fairground situation? Shots were fired. Who fired the shots? And all this other kind of stuff is going on. And I did see a lot of black people coming out of the fairground. Now,
That's true. And it's a sad state. I mean, the lady gets her head cracked, which is a shame, for people running in the stampede.
Well, I saw all kinds of people coming out of the fairground. Some people now are saying, what did he mean by I saw all those black? You know what I mean. Don't give me. Listen, folks.
Yeah, man.
You know exactly what I mean, and you know how the black community behaves. So there's no sense in getting upset or getting angry and talking about racism. There's nothing has to do about racism here. It's the way people behave, and they need to change their ways. That's exactly what's going on. And so we cannot deny what exists. And if we keep denying what exists, then you're going to keep having the problems that we do have. So, hey, I'm not denying what exists. And it doesn't matter to me what people think or, how they feel.
Oh, no.
So, hey, we need to get God back in our community. Yeah. All right, 901-213-6020. And in other news, incumbent Mayor Jim Strickland is in Whitehaven.
Yes, sir.
And
he's walking the streets.
Yeah.
Walking the streets of Whitehaven.
Well, Whitehaven, it says here, plays a big part in the mayoral race.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's out there door to door, knocking on doors, and inviting people to vote and vote for him and why they should vote him in a second time.
Yeah.
So we've got something to play on this. When he says there's a lot of jobs have been created since he's been mayor. And he said with the other people that are running for mayor, they have to understand results, not rhetoric.
Mm-hmm.
It's about results and not rhetoric. So the mayor has a lot of things to say here. And has he gotten results? That's what he said. So what do you think? Take a listen to this, and we'll be back. Again, 901-213-6020. Thanks for your comments coming in. Take a listen to this.
For you, but the Labor Day
and Memphis is no different. Incumbent Memphis Mayor Jim Strickland took to the streets of Whitehaven to do a little door-to-door campaigning this morning. Local 24 News reporter Mike Matthews caught up with Strickland to talk about where he stands. New at 5.
Well, this is Jim Strickland's re-election headquarters, and there's not a soul in there right now, because you don't win re-election by staying in an office. You hit the streets. He was in Whitehaven, a neighborhood where people traditionally vote big. Any candidate has to either win or do very well in Whitehaven to be victorious. And Jim Strickland has been in politics as mayor and city councilman for a long time, and he knows that. Going door to door to ask for a vote is old school campaigning, and it works.
Well, this is what I say when I knock on doors. I think in the last 4 years we've accomplished a lot, but we have a long ways to go in Memphis. We have real challenges of poverty and crime and lack of educational achievement, and we've made progress on all those. But I think I'd like another 4 years to make even more progress.
When Strickland was first elected 4 years ago as mayor, he defeated incumbent A.C. Wharton. Incumbents rarely lose elections in Memphis, but obviously sometimes they do. So he makes sure to talk about accomplishments, even if opponents say it's just talk and nothing of any substance. You know, some of your opponents say that, the progress made has been minimal, to put it mildly, as far as poverty and crime and things like that.
Well, the data shows otherwise, and with 24,000 more jobs today, 24,000 than 3.5 years ago. In 2018, we were the number 1% of job growth in the entire country.
Strickland says his administration has pushed hard to get contracts for minority and women-owned businesses. This is where he mentions his opponents.
We've done 20% of our contracts with MWBEs. Mayor Harrington was about 8 or 9%, and Tammy Sawyer's 3%. This campaign needs to be about results, not rhetoric.
Mayor Strickland says you run for re-election on your record, and that's what he's doing. In Memphis, Mike Matthews, Local 24 News.
Hey, I want to show you something. Go ahead and skip this video if you don't like gadgets. But I'm a dad, and I found the...
Mayor says he's gotten results, and he should be elected again. You saw him going door to door there, knocking on doors. And we got one message that said they were in Whitehaven yesterday.
Yeah.
And they didn't see the mayor. So.
GKP.
Jake for checking in. Well, I mean, come on, Jake. Whitehaven is not, a block long. Whitehaven's a pretty good sized community. So, I mean, it all depends on where you were in Whitehaven. So, Jet says...
Oh, Lord.
Oh, God.
Go ahead.
Jet says, churches are too busy building bigger and bigger synagogues to preach about being fishers of men instead of being fishers of men. Wait a minute now. Did I miss something?
No. Let me break it down.
About being fishers of men,
yeah,
instead of being fishers of men. Okay, I get it.
Yeah,
I got you. Okay.
So instead of actually doing it, you're just talking about it.
Okay. All right. Is that all he's saying there?
Well, I mean, that's what you're saying too.
I mean, is that all he's saying though?
Yeah, that's it. Look,
churches are too busy building bigger and bigger synagogues. So that takes money to do that, Jet. I mean, so.
Well, the thing is, look, and this is all you said too, so I know you know. Building bigger, like focusing on their own empire.
Yeah.
Instead of the people around it. And it may be sometimes, and this is some churches once again. Now, it's we all know, and I always put this qualifier out there. We're not talking about everybody.
Yeah.
But when you build your own empire instead of focusing about God or the people.
Yeah.
And then you talk about, ironically, being fishers of men, but not actually going to do any fishing.
And I do understand where he's coming from. Then you have churches you have some big, beautiful churches in this city.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about black community and nice churches.
Yeah, it is.
If
you drive around,
to them, man, they have some nice buildings. But
there's nothing wrong with a nice place.
And nothing wrong, absolutely not.
No.
Thank God, some of them are beautiful. But when you go there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes on Wednesday, they're probably open Wednesday night for 1 hour, but it's only open for one day. You don't see anything else going on there. The big, beautiful churches, the doors are shut. Nobody's in the parking lot and all that other kind of stuff. So they have some nice churches in the black community, but nothing's going on. Everybody goes about their own way nobody testifies about Jesus. Nobody says anything about Jesus.
Is it only open on Sunday?
It's only open on Sunday for the main service. They go there. I guess Jet is trying to say build bigger churches. They have to raise the money, so they come make sure they're open on Sundays because that's the big day.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they get their tithes and offerings collected, which it is supposed to be done. And but I don't have anything against nice churches. But I think we've got too many churches. I think some people can come together. How many did some people said there are as many as, and I'm going on a lower number here, they say at least 2,500 black churches in Memphis. That's a lot of churches.
And
I don't care where you are.
Yeah.
2,500 black churches is a lot of churches.
It's funny. Like I've said this before. It seemed like the number used to always get bigger with some folks. From 2,500 to 7,000 black churches to 25,000. Look, I think there's a lot.
The range of the churches.
It's a whole lot.
Black churches in the Memphis area. I think between 2,500 they say, and the average of 2,500 to 3,500 black churches.
Yeah.
In the city.
Which is still a ton.
Which is a lot of churches. And I really didn't believe that at one point, so I went riding and I saw for myself, in just about 2 blocks, I saw about 6 different churches. That's true.
Yeah.
I saw about 6 different churches in 2 blocks. And I said, and I kept riding. I saw the same number kept here. Anyway, All right. So incumbent Mayor Jim Strickland was in the Whitehaven community. He's knocking going door to door, telling them why he should be reelected as mayor. Now, has this mayor count come down to a race thing? You have Mayor Jim Strickland. You have what's his name?
Willie Harrington.
Willie Harrington and
former mayor.
Yeah. And then Tammy Sawyer. Those 2 are black. So you have a lot of black people are saying, hey, we don't want Jim Strickland in. Now, why is it that they don't want Jim Strickland in office? Is it because he's white? And but you can comment too. But what I'm saying is, a lot of times I find that black people are more prejudiced than anybody else, or more racist. And they say, well, we don't want Jim Strickland in, not because he's not a good candidate, not because he's not doing a good job, but because he's a white man. And they were, well, we need to get our own black folk in. That's not the point. I don't care if you're black, white, Chinese, red-eyed, black knees or no knees.
Yeah.
I don't care what kind of race you are. If you're ungodly, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't want you in office. We need to get people that are going to be in office as close as possible that have Bible principle and character.
Well, here's the thing to that, and I agree. But when you look at these guys, like there is none of them, and that's why it's always tough for me when it comes to that type of thing, because there's too many folks that aren't. So you're gonna.
Okay, I guess you.
But like, because I mean, look, they all probably cuss and drink and do whatever it is. So
I really haven't followed Jim Strickland's.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't say he is.
Right.
Because
but then when you get candidates like Tammy Sawyer that that stand for homosexuality and lesbian lifestyle, okay, and that type of thing, and what they stand for, and uncleanness and sin and all what these certain people stand for. As a believer, we are not to just say that's okay and then vote those people into office. If I vote for a person that has that lifestyle, then I've become a partaker, a sharer, a partaker in their living. And I can't do that. And you have lots of preachers that are giving in to Tammy Sawyer because she's a black female. It doesn't matter. I mean, if we're standing for the kingdom of God and for righteousness' sake, how in the world can you cast your ballot and your support behind a person that stands for a lesbian lifestyle and homosexuality? I don't understand how you can do that.
And I agree. And here's the thing I see people thinking, right? I don't think people really, for the most part, and I'm sure there's plenty that care about that stuff, but I think there's a lot of those people really think she's a better candidate. It's just the way they feel. And
lifestyle means nothing to some.
Well, I'm not saying that. No, I know you're not. But I'm saying, well, probably because I think people look at that thing as like, well, I don't really care about it one way or the other. Like they're not going to sit here and protest for LGBT.
Right.
But at the same time, they're like, well, I can overlook this if I feel like you're going to do this. You know what I'm saying? And then there's a lot of distrust with some of these other candidates. Like you look at Mayor Harrington, former Mayor Harrington. Some people still don't know, is he really serious about running? What is his real motivations? Stuff like that. He's refusing to debate. That's breeding some more distrust. And just the last point I make is with Jim Strickland. And I understand what he's saying about the job creation, which is not a bad thing. And I think he's done good with tourist attractions, kind of making the city look better. The city of Memphis look better on the periphery, downtown area. All this stuff is needed work for years.
Yeah.
Going back to Harrington, going back to A.C. Wharton, to make Memphis actually look like a big city. With cool stuff. And he's done that. But inner cities are suffering. He talks about education being a priority, but it's not hadn't been a priority his entire 4 years.
Right.
So that makes it hard for me to trust that as well. But let me read this quick comment.
Yeah.
I just saw these. I guess they just came up. Greg said, they will say he doesn't understand / know the black experience, so he can't effectively lead a majority black city, says Greg. Jet says, I think...
Okay, hold it right there. I understand. I kind of see what you're saying, but we're not electing a person to run black people. We're electing a person to run a city. I guess people need to understand that it's not running black people. We're running. He's going to be elected to run the city, and that's what it's all about. So if you look at it like this, back in the day, you had all these black Harrington for 17 years as mayor of Memphis. Then you had A.C. Wharton, and then he was finally defeated by Jim Strickland. So if you look back over all these years that we had black mayors, what did they do? They did nothing. Absolutely nothing. And then you had all these new projects begin to start coming up and new things are happening. I believe Jim Strickland is a serious man. I believe he's a serious mayor. And I believe he's serious about taking care of business for the white community, the black community, and for all of Memphis. And that's the way we have to look at it. And that's what we have to look at this situation. Not just having a black person in office just because they're black.
Well, and
that's stupid.
And I agree. But here's the irony in all that.
Yeah.
Strickland was strictly elected because black folks had finally got tired of black folks in office.
Right.
That was why.
Why did they get tired of black folk in office?
Well, because the results weren't there.
Results weren't there. And this is what Jim Strickland is saying. He says it's not about rhetoric. He says it's about results.
But here's the point. It's funny he's saying that because he hadn't had enough to me. Yeah. Now look, I'm not saying he hasn't been the worst.
Mm-hmm.
He has not been the worst mayor that we've had. He hasn't.
Right.
But he hasn't been the best either, as much as he tries to act like he has been.
Mm-hmm.
He says he said it's been 4 years. It's only been an entire term of mayor.
Yeah.
But look. That's what people saying. It's only been a year. And then people say it's only been 2 years. It's only been 3 years. Crime has only gotten worse every single year.
Right,
the murder rate has only gotten worse every single year.
He did run on the
crime
notion that he would fight crime.
Yes.
That's what he did.
That's the main reason he got elected.
But how did crime get the way it did? It didn't just happen.
That's
when
true.
Mayor Strickland came in. It was there, and he's trying to get a hold of it. Sometimes, let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, let's say, for instance, you're riding down the interstate at, let's say 90 miles an hour. 90 miles per hour. You're heading down the interstate, right? And all of a sudden, you have to turn around. Okay, suddenly. You're not going to be able to break that speed. You're not going to be able to just turn quickly at 90 miles an hour. So what's going to happen? You're going to have to first break that car down and get it down to the speed where you are safe.
I agree.
And then before you make your turn to be able to turn around. So when he came in office, I can say this. When Strickland came in office, a lot of things already going 90 miles per hour.
Yes.
But in order to break those things down, it's going to take time to slow that vehicle down and slow the other process, which things were probably going in the other direction.
I agree, but
slow it down to get ready to turn it around.
That's a great point.
That's all I'm saying.
And let me say something to that point, because that's a great point.
Yeah.
But I would get it, and I'm sure Strickland, if he's listening, he's telling Ursula Madden to write that down.
Yeah.
But
I'll call him later.
Ursula, former WMC. But anyway, I bring it up. It has been on the rise way before the last 4 years. But guess what, Greg and Bob and everybody else, and Ursula Madden and Jim Strait, everybody, whoever else is listening.
Yes.
It's continued to rise. So if after 4 years I have not seen a decrease, look, I'd even give him.
Well, you gotta give him time to turn around.
How much time?
Wait a minute. You gotta give him time to turn around and then start picking up speed again.
Look, I would give him.
A car doesn't turn around at night.
I know.
It stays at night.
I get the point. It makes sense. But here's the thing: if I at least see that you stop the increase, then that would be, even if you're the same every year or something similar to the same every year, and you stop the increase, I'll give you credit for that. But it hasn't happened. It's increased. You know what I'm saying? Nothing has worked. Nothing's gotten any better.
Yeah.
So I can't give him credit for that. And how many years does it take? Yeah. So I'm not saying you should have the crime problem solved by now. But what I am saying is I should see progress. I should see the plan in action and at least starting to work.
Okay, so who do we have? Okay, let's say people are talking against Jim Strickland.
Uh-huh.
All right, who's left? Two of the big candidates that's out there.
And that's the
you
problem.
have a person that stands for homosexuality and lesbian lifestyle. You don't want to go there if you say you claim the name of Christ. All right? And then you have former mayor. Been there for 17 years. And so what has he done? I mean, he's running on a record just because he was 17 years as a black mayor of Memphis. So what do we have? I mean, you have to really think about that as well. 901-213-6020. And Jet says, I think Tammy Sawyer is better. Why, Jet? I mean, just leave a statement like that. Why?
Well, look, and it's
why? I mean,
it's your right, but
you're right.
I'm gonna say this.
I'm saying, leave us a reason why do you think Tammy Sawyer is better?
And here's the thing, I think that's been working in her favor lately, because she hadn't really even been on the radar as far as being talked about or statements of hers making any difference. And I think
now
I'm pretty sure.
Let me say this, John. I know. Let me say this real quick. I want the people to know I'm not against the people, the homosexual committing the sin. I'm not against the people. I'm only standing against the sin because it's ungodly. That's my point.
Yeah.
I don't hate the people at all. We want the people to be saved. We want them to be turned around. Their life totally changed.
You don't hate her?
Right. But we're not against the people. We're against the lifestyle. Okay? So go ahead.
Yeah. And I'm like this. I think what's been working in her favor lately is the victim situation, which I think, the more I think about it, I think that's kind of why they're playing that up a little bit more. A woman as the victim, and you play the underdog card, right? And people that are of that ilk or feel that they're underdogs as well, which is a lot of the black community always, feels that way. I'm not saying it's wrong, but that's the thought process. They're gonna attach themselves to the candidate that feels like the underdog, that feels like they've been the victim of attacks and slander and things of that nature. So it's kind of like the more that happens, the more they feel like it's going to fuel that base. Now, I think where they reached a little too much was this whole Memphis Magazine thing. Well, I still don't see that as a racist attack. I feel like it was a reach on her whole thing. But to me, I haven't heard enough of what she has to say about any issues at all.
Wow.
The only thing, I hadn't heard anything. Like, she hadn't said it.
Okay.
So, that's up to her to say something. Hopefully, because I see Mike Matthews is doing this thing with all the candidates. I would imagine she would be next. So this is her opportunity, I feel like, to say something meaningful.
Yeah.
What do you stand for? What do you not?
Right.
If, people have these things about what we believe you stand for, but what do you say you stand for?
Well,
say something.
Maybe she's going on the notion that since Chicago has elected its first black woman or female mayor, that people in Memphis will be gullible and stupid enough to go out there, since she's in running for mayor and the first black female, that, Memphis is going to follow suit with Chicago.
There's nothing wrong with having a black mayor.
No, there's
or
nothing
female
at
mayor.
all. Nothing at all. But you've got to be about the business. You just can't run for mayor just because you're black and you're a female. I've heard nothing from her. I don't know what she stands for. But I know one thing. I am not going to vote for her because of her character and what she believes. And then I'm amazed that black preachers are endorsing Tammy Sawyer and knows what she stands for. Now, you can give all kinds of reasons and excuses why you vote for Tammy Sawyer. You can say, well, the other candidates, they do this, they say that. But when you start talking about gay and lesbian lifestyle, homosexual and lesbian lifestyle, that's abomination. And everything in the Bible, God did not say abomination upon it. And so to be able to be a preacher and a pastor or ministers or of the gospel of Jesus Christ, and then to stand behind somebody like this, that's, to me, is hypocritical. Now, you can take that either way you want to take it. I just don't believe that way. If I'm going to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, if I'm going to believe in it, then I need to act in the way that I believe in the gospel, and not just to support somebody that's against sin. That's for, not against sin, but for sin. And for that old sinful lifestyle. I just don't think that's the way to go. If you do, like I said earlier, you have become a partaker a share giver in sharing with that person. And God's going to hold you accountable, you know, for that type of thing. If you help that person get in office and then they get legislations or things passed to increase or allow homosexual and lesbian lifestyle and people to get by in those type of areas, and then sin to increase, where sin abound, grace did much more abound. It will increase. The grace of God is stronger than sin, but you can't intentionally vote people in office knowing what they stand for. And that's why that knows to do good and does not do it, to him it is sin. So you have become you have sinned, or you will sin, if you know that what to do. You know to do good, and that's not good. It's not the gospel to vote someone in that stands for something of that nature. No.
Okay, now I was going to ask a question that was asked on Facebook.
Yeah.
I missed it, but I remember it. Greg put a while back about Harrington having a baby out of wedlock.
Okay.
And he was asking, I know it's an honest question. He's asking, so would it be wrong to vote for him too because of that situation?
Well, no, I wouldn't vote for him. I would not just vote for him because of that. Now, here's the thing. I know his character. I know his lifestyle. I'm not a Willie Harrington type person. Not basically just because of that. See, like I said a few moments ago, there are certain things that are just abomination before God. And homosexual and lesbian lifestyle is one of those. So, but not saying that he is correct or he was right by having a baby out of wedlock. I don't even know if Harrington, he's not even married, I don't think. But the case was he did have a baby out of wedlock, and I don't know the situation behind all of that. But we're not going to sit here and try to play tit for tat. But the thing about it is, when you have a candidate that's running now and say that they're endorsing homosexual and lesbian lifestyle and other things, then you know right then, hey, if you're a Christian, then you shouldn't vote for that type of behavior or activity. So, but that's my point of view on that. Greg also says, he responds to someone else there. He said, I want to give her a chance, but her lack of visibility isn't cutting it for me. Okay. No way, Bob. Greg says, a black mayor will know what we need. Really? Well,
so he's being sarcastic.
Oh, okay. I get it. Warden is only technically black. He says here, crime has been on the rise since way before the last 4 years. That's true. That was my point. Before he got into office, crime was already on the rise.
I got these last couple here.
The mayor, whoever he is, can't stop crime from rising by himself. And that's true, Greg. That's a big statement.
Grant Morrison said, would the black community vote for a candidate that runs on the promise to clean up crime, meaning more police jobs?
Yeah, good question. All right, 901-213-6020. Let's take a break here.
Okay.
When we come back, we'll continue our conversation. Got other things to talk about as well. And we'll take your phone calls as well. We'll leave the phone lines open. Thanks for joining us. You're listening to Talk Back Live with Bob
and Josh.
8:54, 54 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock Central Time. And a very pleasant good morning to you on a Tuesday morning. Thanks for your comments. We'll be back after this.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee Hands-Free Law, which is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019. In Public Chapter 412, it makes it illegal for a driver to hold a cell phone or a mobile device with any part of their body, to write, send, or read any text-based communication, to reach for a cell phone or mobile device in a manner that requires the driver to no longer be in a seated driving position or properly restrained by a seatbelt, to watch a video or a movie on a cell phone or a mobile device, and to record or broadcast video on a cell phone or mobile device. So, can I still talk on my cell phone while driving? Yes. A driver is permitted to use an earpiece, headphone device, or a device worn on a wrist to conduct a voice-based communication. The driver may use one button on a cell phone or mobile device to initiate or terminate voice communication, and voice-based communication may also be used to send a text message. Learn more at handsfreetn.com.
Are you tired of going to the doctor with the same issue over and over again and never getting any relief? Are you tired of buying all types of vitamins and supplements, hoping but not knowing for sure that they will keep you healthy? Or are you getting enough of the right kind of nutrients that your specific body needs? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you need a nutritional blood analysis. With a nutritional blood analysis, we can take one drop of blood from a prick of your finger and analyze your body's nutritional needs, nutritional deficiencies, and nutritional imbalances. This analysis can provide an early warning of possible future health challenges so you can make the changes now to avoid the negative outcome. A nutritional blood analysis can be used to monitor a health challenge before and after adopting an approach to restore health and balance. It will also allow you the ability to determine the effectiveness of various approaches to restoring and balancing your health. So don't wait. Make your appointment. Stop guessing with your health. Know what works for sure. 901-602-7063.
Graphics Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all. Color copies, resumes, funeral programs, rubber stamps, full-color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30-plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. Graphics Printing. CJ Used Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances have the best prices in town. Sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks, I'm telling you, they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJ Used Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances.
Live with Bob and Josh. It is 8:59, 59 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock Central Time. And a very pleasant good morning to you on a Tuesday morning. Yes, a lovely, wonderful Tuesday morning, and starting your day off at 73 degrees under a mostly sunny sky. And, hey, a beautiful day today. And our topics, we were talking about today's shots being fired at the Delta Fair, Trump security upgrades. Now that's out there, and
lots of things happened there. You had the fair. We were talking about the fairground. That there was a fair there, and then it also at the Delta Fair. So you had two different fairs going on. Why? Incumbent Mayor Jim Strickland in Whitehaven. He's running for re-election, and he's going door to door, knocking on doors in the community. Do you think he deserves a second term? And why or why not? Is race a part of this election? Jim Strickland says he wants results and not rhetoric. So there you have it at that thing there. Also, we've had some questions come in. Let's see here.
First one's Frankie.
Okay, let's go to Frankie. She says, okay, Bob, please help me with this, because if fornication and having a baby out of wedlock doesn't disqualify Harrington, how does Tammy View disqualify her? Okay?
And I got some more to say here.
Yeah.
I wrestle with this because I thought no sin was greater than the next. Am I wrong?
Okay. Now, here's the situation. Let me say that the first question you said is having a baby out of wedlock disqualify her, and does
it's all together. Yeah.
Views disqualify her? How does her views disqualify her? First of all, let me say this. God said in the beginning, he made them male and female. Okay? And for this cause, shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and those two shall be one flesh. There are no more two, but one. And so, what therefore God joined together, let not man put asunder. Of course, he's talking about the institution of marriage. Now, former Mayor Willie Harrington had a baby out of wedlock. All right. Now, here's the thing. Did he have a baby out of wedlock? I'm not saying that's right. That is wrong. I am dead set against it. Okay? It's biblically wrong. But did he have a baby out of wedlock with another man? Or did he have a baby out of wedlock with a woman? Okay? God made the attraction of the man for the woman. Not for the man and the woman for the woman. Okay? You get my point? So here, we've got, when you talk about the homosexual and lesbian lifestyle, you're talking about men with men. In Romans chapter 1, it talks about that. And clearly, that's an abomination. And anything that God classifies as an abomination, he really hates. That's not the way he envisioned for it to be. Man with man, woman with woman. Okay, that's why it's an abomination. All right, but when you have a woman and a man out of wedlock, of course God is not pleased with that, because that's against his rule. He made them male and female so that they can come together into the bed of marriage. Okay? But then when you have man with man, woman with woman, that's a total nother thing that God did not create. He created male and female. He didn't create male, then male. He didn't create female for female. So here, when you talk about homosexual lifestyle and gay and lesbian lifestyle, you're talking about a total lifestyle that God had nothing to do with. He did not create it, and he didn't. It is nothing that he designed or created for it to be. So man, in his own rebellion, came against God and decided that they're going to do it their way, men with men, women with women, working that which is unseemly. And for this cause. Now, because they want to continue to do that, in Romans chapter 1, you go to and read it and talk about it, and for this cause, God gave them, because they did not like to retain God in their knowledge. What does it mean? In God's way of creation, God's way of doing things, God's way of wanting it to be man and woman. Not man and man, woman and woman. Okay? So that they did not like to retain God in their knowledge,
God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do the things which were not pleasing, that they wanted to do. In other words, you say, okay, is that the way you want to do it? I didn't create it that way for a man and man, a woman and woman. I created for male and female. Okay? Now, because that's what I mean by abomination. That's the difference between the homosexual lifestyle and the lesbian lifestyle than a man and a woman coming together. Now, God created it for man and a woman to come together, but he wanted it to be within his guideline, and his guideline was the bed of marriage. Now, here's the other question is I wrestle with this because I thought no sin was greater than the next. Am I wrong? Well, in this particular incident, it is because it's not the way God created it. It's totally against his way. Now, we do sin, and we sin in the way that God created things for it to be, but we're disobedient to the way we're supposed to do it. Okay? Just like I said, the male and female, that's the way God created for it to be. But when they do it out of the principle or the lifestyle of matrimony, man and woman coming together and becoming one, the two becoming one, then it has become against the law of God. And I hope that helps answer your question. If there's any sin bigger than the other one, it's just the principle. This sin is outside of the creative act of God. And so men want to come together and say, hey, forget about God the way he created man and woman. I'm in love with a man and I'm going to do it with a man, whether he likes it or not. And that's the difference. And again, I was specified to speak on this. I am not saying that fornication or adultery is right. It is wrong, but it's not abomination. It is a man and woman coming together, but they're committing the sin of adultery and fornication. But they're still coming together in the way God created his created order, male and female. But now the homosexual and lesbian lifestyle is doing it their own way against the creative order of God. And I can go on and maybe I'll explain some things again, touch on that a little bit more. 901-213-6020. And Greg says, what does he say, Josh? He said not to mention that she isn't gay as far as he knows. Mm-hmm. She just stands in support of the alphabet community.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If she's standing for, I'm not saying that she's gay. I don't know. But what I'm saying is,
there's been rumors, but I'm not going to sit on that.
All I'm saying is what she said she's standing for, and that's the gay, homosexual, and lesbianity, their lifestyle. She's standing for that. And to vote for a candidate that stands for that, as a believer, I'm wrong. I'm saying, God, yes, I understand the way you made it. I understand the way you wanted, God. And I'm a Christian, and I'm washed in the blood of the Lamb of Jesus. But you're wrong on this one, God. Lord, you're wrong on this one because even though they're against the way you created it to be, but and she supports that, and I'm trying to get things down here done, Lord. You're concerned about homosexual and lesbians coming together, and that type of thing. We're concerned about taking care of business so our families can be fed. Tammy Sawyer will help our family be fed. Tammy Sawyer will help do this and that, the natural things. See, we're always concerned about the natural things in the natural mind. The Bible says the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit. And that's the way we have to look at it. Am I on the Lord's side? Whose side are you on? Are you on the Lord's side? Or are you saying, God, forget you in this? I'm going to vote for Tammy Sawyer because she's going to put food on my table. But are you forgetting that God is the creator? He's the provider, Jehovah Jireh. He is the one that meets our needs. Who do we pray for? Do you pray to Tammy Sawyer or do you pray to God? So that's the point. All right. Wait, is Tammy gay? I don't know, but she supports that community. Why would I, as a Christian, vote for her that supports that community? I would be a partaker of that. Danny Keith, too much pride is an abomination. Jet says, anyway, Tammy is the closest mayor that we would have that supports a real black agenda.
Yeah.
So we're voting for now just a person for the black agenda. Are we speaking of a mayor that supports every human's agenda? Black, white, Chinese, Mexican, all right? So if some black people voted for Trump because he said, what do we have to lose? Then why not vote for a mayor? Let's see here.
Yeah, then why not vote for mayor that for once appears that they'll put black folk needs ahead of everything? What do we have to lose?
Well, to me, it's not about black folks. It's about all people. And as a believer and as a minister of the gospel, I can't just say, I'm, for the stand up against black agenda. That's not what it's all about. God made us all one blood. From one blood, he made us all. And so we're all a race of people. It's not about black, white, and all this kind of stuff. It's God made us one. And so that's what I stand for. If I did anything else, then I would be speaking against the will and the plan of God. I can't. And I know you understand where I'm coming from. And then for my point is for churches and preachers to stand with this lady and to approve of what she stands for and her agenda is sad. It's really sad. I don't understand it. And really, this shows me that really people are not standing for the Lord. They're standing for Tammy. And who is Tammy? She has to stand before God one day. And, God is from everlasting to everlasting. He's eternal. Tammy is somebody that's, hey, she's going to die one day. Believe it or not. She's not going to be mayor or candidate for mayor of Memphis, or she's not going to be around forever. So we can't put our trust in the arms of flesh or in people. We put our trust in the Lord. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. And that's what I'm leaning toward. I'm leaning toward biblical principle and the way God said it's supposed to be. Or in this particular incident concerning homosexual and lesbian lifestyle. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him and he will direct your path. Okay, and I appreciate your comment, though. Let's see. Anything else? Frankie said, thanks, Bob. You're welcome, Frankie. But it is doing the wrong thing right. Okay.
I don't know. But he says, not me. All people had been mayors, and it hasn't worked for us. I'm going to put it this way, as far as that goes. Well, no, I got it. As far as that goes, because I ain't talking about the LGBT thing. I'm talking about another aspect of it. I'm like this. I get what you're saying, but it's a dangerous thing. And look, when you talk about the mayors,
who you talking to?
To Jet.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was reading the comment and responding to it. Not me. All people have been mayors, and it hadn't worked for us. I understand that when you look at, but I guess it's one of those things. You've had black mayors, you've had white mayors. So what exactly are we looking for? Now, I was reading some things just now when you look at the things that Tammy is saying. And it's one of those things where, okay, look, if you were to come out and say half of those things that you have been saying before you got involved in the mayoral race, I can understand some of the support a little bit more. But I have not heard her get up and state her platform enough for my taste. If you're an unknown in a race, which is basically what she is, she's done activism. She's actually currently a part of the Shelby County Commission. For less than a year, it seems like she's actually been there, maybe a year. So into her, however long their thing is. So she's still got plenty of time to make a difference in that aspect. So that's one thing as well. But aside from that, I haven't heard enough of what you're saying you're going to do for Memphis other than you're letting your record speak for itself. I need to know more. I need to know, do you have a plan for the crime situation? I need to know, do you have a plan for black businesses and black jobs? I can't just go off the fact that you say you support the black interest. That sounds good.
Yeah, but her plan, whatever plan she might come up with, it will not sit right with me, and I will not vote for her because of her stand for homosexuality and lesbian lifestyle. Yeah. I will not vote for her on that particular stand. I just can't. So
and I get it. Like I'm not saying that.
So it's like.
And I guess it just reiterates.
If you're gonna be if you're gonna stand for something, you're gonna don't fall for anything. I mean, what is the old saying there? But the thing about it is, I have to stand with the Bible. And, because of people, what they believe and how they respond, we can't allow those things to shake us. We can't allow those things to change us because of the way people, I can't look at the eyes and the face of the people, behold not their faces. What are you going to stand for? And when the rubber meets the road, when people really get in trouble, and they're going to need somebody to come to, they're not going to go to Tammy Sawyer. They're going to come to somebody that they know is righteous and that stands for righteousness. If you stand for the Bible, people will come to you even though they hate you. Why? Because when they get in a desperate situation, people need to hear from God. And they need to answer from God. And they're going to go to someone where they know they can get an answer from God. Now, am I making the other preachers that are, I'm not saying all preachers are not that way or whatever. You can take it or leave it, whichever way you believe and whichever way you think that I'm saying this. But people are going to go to someone that they believe that can get through to God. And they're going to go to someone that's not, what do you call it, wishy-washy or halfway. Either you for it or you're against it. And so what is it? Are you for the Bible or are you against it? Do you believe in the Bible? Do you not believe in the Bible? What are you going to get up and do when you support, as a minister, you have to support Tammy Sawyer in the election? How are you going to go back to your church when you go back Sunday morning after the election, if she wins and you vote for her? What are you going to go back and preach to your people? I mean, what are you going to say? Well, I went out and voted for Tammy Sawyer, and she believes and her agenda is to help push the homosexual and lesbian lifestyle. Now, you probably won't be able to preach on that ever again because of the way you feel. Now, you've went and voted for a person that stands for that particular lifestyle. That's if you really trust and believe in God. So how can you put someone in office that's going to push an agenda
that God is against. But yet you say God is your provider. Yet you say God is the one that watches over you. I'd be ducking from now on if you think God is watching over you and then you go and vote against God's agenda for another person's agenda. That's just like telling God, hey, you're all right in some areas, but for this, we have to have Tammy. What are you going to do? Are you going to be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the things of God, or are you going to just skip out on this one and vote for Tammy Sawyer? You've got to be consistent. And anything else here? Let's see. Okay, here's one from Jed. It said, wait a minute, the mayoral. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, okay. Jed said the mayoral position isn't a godly position. So you should be fighting to change that first. Then, until then, I'm going with knowing. Okay? Any position, whether you're presidential, whether you're mayor, the scripture tells us all things are created by him and for him, and by him all things consist. That's talking about government officials and kings. The Bible tells us to pray for those that are in leadership, those that are kings, authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all what? Godliness and honesty. What? We pray for those people that they would make godly decisions. So you can't say the position, mayoral position, isn't a godly position. God makes these, and he's the creator. I mean, everything belongs to him. Unless you don't believe God is the creator and everything doesn't belong to him. Yes, all positions of authority were created by God. And so to be able to allow, say, hey, God, hey, this is a mayor's race. You have nothing to do with this. We can't I know God doesn't come down and run for mayor and can't sit in the mayor's seat, but all of those seats and those places of authority belong to God. It started from God first, and then it works its way down. Because if it wasn't for creation and God being in control, then there would be no positions of authority. So that's why he asks us to pray, to talk to him. That's what prayer means. Prayer is not just bawling and then hollering and then, nah, Jesus, we over here at East Baptist Church South and we looking for you to creep on by today. No, prayer is not that crap. Prayer is talking to God. That's simply what it is. It is simply talking to God. And when we talk to God he says we're to pray. We're to talk to him about leadership and those that are in authority and position that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty. And that's what those positions are for. All right. And we know that a lot of godly people don't win elections. But it doesn't say that they're going to win all elections. But we're to pray that we, as believers, as ministers of the gospel and believers and Christians, we vote for those that have godly principles. And that's what we're supposed to do anyway, if we're naming the name of Christ. Now, if you're not naming the name of Christ, not talking about you Pacific, if a person is not naming the name of Christ, they're not going to understand. All right. But black leading tend to want to be the mayor of all people. Did I read that right? Black leaders tend to want to be the mayor of all people. Well, that's good. That's why it has never worked for us. So, Jed, are you saying if a person are we looking for a person to be elected to office just for black people? Is that what I'm hearing you saying? A person that's been elected, a black leader that's
tends not to be a mayor of all people. He wants to be the mayor of all people, and not just for black people. I don't understand that. They're not supposed to be just the leader for black people. They're supposed to be the leader for all people, for the city. I believe the saying is, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. I agree. That's what I was trying to say, Frankie. Thank you so much. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. And me, I'm just saying me now. As a believer and minister of the gospel, I can't stand for that. If I don't stand for what I believe, then I'll fall for anything. My belief has become null and void, null and whatever you call it.
Yeah, no, void.
Mm-hmm. I mean, how am I going to be able to help you now saying that, and how am I going to be able to help a lesbian or a homosexual when I voted for an agenda, voted for a person in office that is going to help that agenda? When a lesbian or a homosexual come to you as a believer, and they come to you and say, I need help, I want out of this lifestyle. And then they find out that you voted for a person that pushed that particular agenda, that lifestyle. It's totally against God's character and against His will. How do you expect a person to receive you? That would probably push a person farther into their depression or their sin or whatever their situation is. And I know you've been listening to me, but I want to hear from you as well. Our phone line is open, but 901-213-6020. Let's see. Brant says, thanks for checking in, Brant, again. Why does a candidate need to have a plan for blacks? Why not all people? I don't ask what are they going to do for white people. I don't understand this. Is this just me? Okay. Brant says, why does a candidate need to have a plan for blacks?
You know what? I'm going to put this out there. I do think there's nothing wrong with a plan for blacks, but I think it needs to be in this vein. I think any president, any mayor, or whatever the case is, you kind of do need to have a plan for all people in this sense. You have a plan for the black community's problems and a plan to solve those problems. A plan for the Hispanic community's problems and a plan how to solve those problems. A plan for, the white community and their problems. You know what I'm saying? Now, usually, and I think this is the problem most minorities, whether you're Mexican or black or whatever, have a problem with a lot of leaders, not just here, but anywhere, is most of the time when people say everybody, you mostly mean white folks. And they don't ever see the effort, like, we'll get to y'all when we can. And I think that's why you got a lot of people in the black community are like, look, I've tried to do this everybody thing, and we still get the short end of the stick. So now I'm going to go all the way selfish and say, I want all the attention now. Because And I think that's what Jet's saying, to be honest. And I think that's not a great way to be.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you know you've been done wrong, right? Does that mean all of a sudden you have to go? And I'm not saying it's this extreme, but it's kind of I don't know how to. But okay, if you've been done wrong your whole life by some people, does that mean that all of a sudden you can say, okay, I've been nice long enough. Now I'm going to be low down and kill somebody. I'm gonna kill them because they've been low down to me, right. And I've been taking it and all this stuff. I really don't think
who have been the mayor of Memphis for the most part.
Well, mostly black folks.
It's been black.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want to go there, black people have been the downfall. If you feel that way about Memphis, black leaders have been the downfall for Memphis. If you want to talk about just black people, and I understand where Brant's coming from, why does a candidate need to have a plan for blacks? They need to have a plan for the whole city. Because if you help one, you're going to help all. And then again, the question is not all. Why not all people? I agree. Why not all people? And so we have to look at a candidate for all people. I don't ask what are they doing, what they're going to do for white people. Okay? He says, I don't understand this. Is this just me?
Well, Brent, I'll put it this way. I think you bring up a good point in some aspects. Mm-hmm. But on the back end, as far as what can we do for white people, most of the time, white folks, and I'm not this, there are plenty of poor, and I know you're a white person. I appreciate you watching the show. And I'm like this. Most of the time, white folks do not need a plan. You know what I'm saying? There's no such thing in America. There's no such thing as a defined plan for white people because it doesn't really need to be. They're included in people. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And there's no plan for the white community.
What he's saying, I don't think he's being nasty. I don't think he's wanting a plan for white people.
No, I'm not saying that.
He's trying to say if you're going to have a plan, why have a plan for black people? If this is a universal thing, or a citywide thing, not just have a plan for black people, just have a plan for all people. That's what he's trying to say.
I get that.
I don't think he's going after just, we need to have
a white plan. No, I know that. I don't think he's saying that.
No. Yeah. I think he's just trying to understand why black people all the time are saying we need to focus on black. And I think it's still this slave mentality. And let me explain myself. Mm-hmm. Black people are still looking for the mule and what is it? The 40 acres and a mule. Mm-hmm. And so they're upset at that because they feel they're still looking for that and they're owed that. Some black people said, black people need to get over it. They're not getting 40 acres and a mule and they don't need it. They don't deserve it. Things have happened. We've moved on. You have opportunities available to you. Let's take advantage of the opportunities. I think people, black people really just need to just forget about the old pity thing. Well, we're black. We've had the hard time for years and white people have treated us wrong. Other people have treated us wrong. So therefore, we're going to keep crying like we did in 1965 and 1975 and keep talking about it in 2025.
Well, I get that.
So on and so forth. And some black people say if we don't keep talking about it, we'll end up losing it. I totally disagree with that. You got to know who you are. And if we get people in office that's going to stand for all people, then we're not going to get this one-sided thing. I can understand that's your right to want to vote who you vote for. That's your right. Vote for whoever you want to vote for. But make sure you're not voting for someone just because. And you know what I mean. Just because they're black. And they're going to push the black agenda. I don't even understand what is a black agenda. That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with a candidate having a focus towards the black community. But I can't sit here and say I'd want a candidate to just focus on the black community. You know what I'm saying? First of all,
that's what we're getting here.
A candidate like that won't get elected. To me.
Well,
I don't think that can happen.
If you have a city that's mostly black and majority rule and mostly black people will vote for that candidate, it's possible that a candidate could get elected. But this thing here, and I think black people are mad too because other black people are not following suit and wanting to vote for Harrington or wanting to vote for Tammy Sawyer. And so it's a desperation, I feel, here to try to get somebody black in office. For what? Okay, all right, let's say Tammy goes to office. What is she going to do? I mean, what is she going to do the very first day, the very first week? What is her agenda for all people in the city? And
look, I think I put it there. I say this again. I think a black plan is extremely important in Memphis in particular because a lot of the problems stem from that.
Well, I think,
you talk about crime, like we just talked about crime. We talked about poverty. We talked about education.
Right, black. There's a lot of black on black.
I mean, that's the core of a lot of the problems, and not necessarily blaming the black folks, but the core of a lot of problems starts there. Of the city's problems with poverty, with education, with crime, is the black community, the state of it.
Why
so you got to do
is
something
it that way?
I mean, there's a lot of reasons.
I mean, why is the black community the way it is? It's because of black on black. Black people fight black people more than anybody else.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, I'm not just talking about black on black crime and blacks killing each other.
Yeah.
I'm talking about blacks as far as working together with each other, black churches working together, black organizations working together. The black race is more divided than any race I can even think about. Okay? And then you want to come together and talking about voting a black mayor in the office for what? I mean, I think the problem needs to start somewhere else. Black people right now don't need a black mayor. They need problems. They need situations to help turn the community around and stop all the killing of each other and destroying each other and, condemning each other. That's where the problem is. So it's not about a black mayor is not going to stop you any problem. It's not going to stop you from killing. The next day, as soon as that black mayor is elected, there's still going to be black on black crime. There's still going to be other black problems. So what good did that do? I mean, it's not going to do anything. When you have black majority city council, Shelby County, you have had black mayors that are over the city. So, I mean, black people need to get over it. And we need to elect the best person possible for the job. And the other thing that some people will say, the lesser of the three evils, or whatever. The lesser of the evil. That's what some people say.
Yeah, okay.
But, I mean, yes, you have to vote. If you're a Christian, God would expect us, nothing less, to vote for someone that has biblical principle. And that's what God would expect. All right.
Now look.
1-213-6020. We need to take a break.
Yeah.
And we come back. We'll continue some of your comments and questions and some other things. Some people may agree with me there. I see you agreeing with me. But we're going to continue to comment. We'll read those when we come back. Just want to take a quick break. And it is now 38 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock Central Time. And a very pleasant good morning to you on a Tuesday morning. We'll be back to read some more comments after. Graphics Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all: color copies, resumes, funeral programs, rubber stamps, full-color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30-plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. Graphics Printing.
Are you tired of going to the doctor with the same issue over and over again and never getting any relief? Are you tired of buying all types of vitamins and supplements, hoping but not knowing for sure that they will keep you healthy? Or are you getting enough of the right kind of nutrients that your specific body needs? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you need a nutritional blood analysis. With a nutritional blood analysis, we can take 1 drop of blood from a prick of your finger and analyze your body's nutritional needs, nutritional deficiencies, and nutritional imbalances. This analysis can provide an early warning of possible future health challenges so you can make the changes now to avoid the negative outcome. A nutritional blood analysis can be used to monitor a health challenge before and after adopting an approach to restore health and balance. It will also allow you the ability to determine the effectiveness of various approaches to restoring and balancing your health. So don't wait. Make your appointment. Stop guessing with your health. Know what works for sure. 901-602-7063.
CJU's Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJU's Appliances have the best prices in town, sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks, I'm telling you, they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJ Used Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Pedestrian safety is a two-way street. Both drivers and walkers need to do their part to keep roads safe. When you're walking, remember, the drivers may not always see you, so remember to use these tips to continue to walk safely. Wear bright clothes. Always use crosswalks and obey signs. Lights and reflectors should be used. And finally, keep alert and do not walk distracted. This message brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Patrol.
And thanks for your comments coming in on Facebook. We'll get to some more of these comments. 901-213-6020. Thanks for all of you that were watching, and from East Coast, Georgia, and other places across the country. We appreciate that. All right, Josh, we were talking about, for the most part, the mayor's election. And Mayor Strickland says he's about getting results and not rhetoric. What does he mean by rhetoric? I mean, we were talking about earlier black candidates, black people want black people elected. And then you had a white guy that comes in here and says, I don't understand this. Is this just me? Or
Brent Morrison.
Brent said, why not all people? I don't ask, what are they going to do for white people? I guess he's talking about a white candidate. But at any rate, that's what we're talking about. And we're going to read some more comments here as well. Yeah. Yeah, so I read here, Edward says that's true, amen.
No, we're missing Jess' comments when they talk about the liquor store. We didn't read that.
Okay, I lost it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Jet says, same thing I say after going to the liquor store. I think he meant Day instead of D. Day and Miss Susie's house the Saturday night before I went to church. What about Miss Susie's house the night before you went to church and going to the liquor store?
Sounds like a controversial night.
I mean, if you're gonna go to the liquor store and then go to Miss Susie's house, I guess I don't know, was it a party or something going on? But then you're gonna come to church on Sunday morning. Well, I guess that's the way it would be if you get Christians and pastors saying I'm on the Lord's side. Whose side are you on? I'm on the Lord's side. That song they normally sing?
Yeah.
And then when it comes to stuff like this, we got to do what's right for the community and get the taxes and things down. And, all people should be able to live in our society, whether they homosexual or lesbian, it doesn't matter. God loves all people. You notice what you just said? God loves all people. That's right. But he doesn't love all sin. He doesn't love sin, period. But now the thing we talked about earlier about homosexual lifestyle, lesbian lifestyle, and then talked about a person committing adultery or fornication.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the homosexual lesbian lifestyle, totally another lifestyle that God did not create.
It's against nature.
It's against nature. And
natural order.
Yeah, let me pull it up here and read. But I'm not saying, listen to what I'm saying now and what I'm not saying. I'm not saying God is for fornication and adultery. No, it's against, the Bible's against that. But it's a man and woman in God's creative order. But it is wrong. But then when you get homosexuals and lesbians start doing their own thing, they're creating another whole life and a lifestyle outside of what God created for it to be. Let's see here. Let me pull up here. Let me pull up something here. And the Jet also says, it sounds like that church ain't got no air conditioning, Bob. Wonder what he means by that. And hey, appreciate all you watching, your comments and all of that. Let me go here to Romans chapter 1 and let's start at verse let's see, let's start right here. Let's see. Okay. He says in verse 16, Romans chapter 1, verse 16, I'll start there, and I'll read my way down here. It says, Paul the apostle writes to the church at Rome, he says, for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. Verse 17, for therein is the righteousness of God revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith. Verse 18. Now listen to this. For the wrath of God. Now, listen right there. The wrath of God is God's wrath or destruction that comes upon certain people. All right? And the wrath of God is not given to believers that live a godly life. Now listen to verse 18. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men. See, even adultery and fornication, God's wrath is revealed against that. Now, here he's going to get a little more technical, personal here in what
and go into a particular lifestyle. Verse 18 again, for the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men. What? Who hold the truth in unrighteousness. Verse 19, because that which may be known of God is manifest in them, for God has showed it unto them. Verse 20, for the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Verse 21, because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. Verse 24, watch this. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust means lust or desires of their own heart. See, this is their own heart they're getting into, folks. Not the creative order of God, the way God created. They're getting into their own hearts here. Verse 24 again, wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust or desires of their own heart, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. Dishonor. See, homosexual and lesbian lifestyle is just not a lifestyle. It's dishonoring your own body between yourself. Listen what he says here, verse 25. Who changed the truth of God into a lie. Now, what is the truth of God? Is that God made male and female. Now, they want to change it, the truth of God, from male and female to a lie, which is male and female. Watch this. Verse 25 again, who changed the truth of God into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause, for that reason, what cause? Who changed the truth of God into a lie. And verse 26, for this cause, God gave them up unto vile affections. For even their women, watch this, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. You see? Even the women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. What is that? The lesbian lifestyle. And verse 27, watch this. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman. Now, man, he wants to leave the natural, the way God created naturally, so the natural use of the woman. Watch what he did. Burn in their lust or their desires one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense to their error which was meet. Verse 28, and even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge. They didn't want to retain God as the way in their knowledge, the way God made male and female. They wanted male and male, female and female to do their own thing. All right? And verse 28 again, and even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind. And that mind is this, to do those things which are not convenient. Being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, and not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. See, they did not like to retain God in their knowledge in other areas, but then in the area of lesbian and homosexual lesbian lifestyle, they wanted to have their own mind and did not want to retain God's way of living in their mind.
and that was male and female. They worked it, men with men, women with women, working that which is unseen. Now you hear from Romans chapter 1. And it goes on. All right. Edward, thanks for Jet says yes. To what? I don't know. Exactly. Ingrid says amen. Jay, I agree. Edward, null and void is what I was trying to say. Just have a plan for the city. Jay says just have a plan for the city.
Mm-hmm.
Period. That's right. Not only, but there's laws that should be changed. Not all, but there are laws that should be changed. True. Brant, y'all are right. Y'all got what I was asking correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes. Edward Ingram says this system has been set up for whites. There we go again. There we go again. If you're a believer, if you're a child of God, and the way God created, there is no whites, there is no blacks, there are no Jews or Gentiles, bonds or free. We all are one in Christ Jesus. So we have to get away from this race thing and understand that the way God sees us is not about race. We are about race. God is not about that. He made all of us. Okay? All right. And did I finish his thing there? The system has been set up for whites. No, I didn't. It's systematic stigma in every aspect of law, government, etc. We get the low end of every situation, no matter what. Why, though? Why, Edward? Why do we get...
It's funny. Now, I'm going to put it this way. Edward is actually agreeing with everything you said, and then he puts that in there as well.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, we know that's been going on.
Yeah.
And it still is. I don't doubt that. But, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not saying it's okay. Not saying that's a good thing that that's happening.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's a fact. But if you...
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. If my people, the Bible tells us plainly, God said you want change, you want righteousness. Evidently, some people don't because they want the lesbian and gay lifestyle to continue. Forget about what God thinks. People have a right. So, this world is asking for a world without God. If my people, God's talking about his people, which are called by my name, you know who you are. Now, if you're an unbeliever and you're a sinner, you hadn't been born again, I'm not talking to you. God's not talking to you here. He says, if my people, he's talking about believers, which are called by my name, that go around and claim me as Lord and Savior, will humble themselves and pray. And what does it mean? What does prayer mean? Simply talking to God. Now, I don't know your definition of how you've been raised, but prayer is simply talking to God. That's all it is. Just like I'm talking to you, that's what prayer is. It is communicating, talking to God. He said, if my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves. First of all, called by his name. Number two, you humble yourselves and pray. Talk to God. Humble yourselves and talk to God. And then he says, and then seek my face. In other words, once we talk, now you have a desire
that you want to be close to me. You're going to seek me out to seek my face, to see what I look like, to find out what my heart is all about. It's just like when you were dating, okay? When you were dating, you would talk on the phone to a female or a male. If you're a female, you talk to a male, hopefully. If you're a male, you talk to a female. You know I'm not going to let that go. But you talk to them for so long, and then the desire comes that you want to be where they are. Seek their face. Then you try to what? Seek their face or say, well, can we get together? Or can we go out to lunch? Can we go out to dinner? Okay? He said, if my people which are called by my name humble themselves, pray, talk to me, and then seek my face. Once you talk to me long enough, you're going to want to know what I look like. You're going to want to be around me. You're going to want my heart. You're going to want everything that's all about me. Irregardless of what you think, you're going to want what I think. You're going to seek me out. And then he says, and turn from our wicked ways. He says, then, and only then, will we hear from heaven. And God said, he said, I'll forgive your sin and I'll heal the land. That's what it's all about. Listen to what he says. He says, I will forgive your sins and do what? And I'll heal the land. This is where we are. The land needs healing. And people are directing their minds and their thoughts toward a person rather than God. God said, I'd heal the land if you do these things. But we forget about that. And then some people would have the question, well, everybody don't believe. And I understand that. I said I was talking to believers. And a lot of Christians that profess the name of Christ, if they would do this, we would see a change. We would see a change because people would pray and God would move. But the problem that we have is a lot of people, churches and ministers, want to settle for people that are not born again or whatever their case is, and that stand, whoever they are, that stand for the lesbian, gay, homosexual lifestyle and just want to, they're going to help us eat the economy. Well, all that is good. But as a believer, I cannot endorse a person that's not endorsing the Lord Jesus Christ and his word. Just can't do it. And I don't see how anybody else as a believer can endorse such a thing as such people that believes contrary to the word of God. I just can't do it. All right. Hey, that's going to do it for us today. We're out of time. Thanks for all your comments and questions and all of that. Hey, we enjoy. This is what it's all about.
Oh, yeah.
And we appreciate you joining us as always. And Josh, you're back this afternoon?
Yes, should be back 3 o'clock. TalkBackLive Sports. And I'm going to talk so much to talk about. It happened this weekend because I was off Labor Day for the sports show. But so much to get into with the Memphis Tigers, with Oklahoma, with Alabama. Oklahoma, Jalen Hurts, former Alabama quarterback, looked like the Heisman Trophy favorite to start the season. Also going to talk about that. And ironically, could he be competing against the guy that replaced him in Alabama? So the irony is all over that situation. We'll talk about that. NBA stuff, football stuff, NFL's right around the corner. Gonna get into all of that coming up. 3 o'clock, TalkBackLive Sports.
All right, that's coming up at 3 this afternoon. At 5 today. At 5 o'clock, I'll be having a Breaking Bread Bible teaching. I'll be coming from the Word of God today, and so not going to tell you where I'll be teaching from. I don't think it'll be from this, but we'll be teaching this afternoon, continue our teaching on some things we've been talking about. So we would
be on this afternoon from 5 until 5:30 or a little longer if we need to. Some people have questions concerning the topic that we're discussing, and we will be able to stay a little longer. All right, Josh, going to do it for us today. And for Tamara Henderson nutritional blood analysis, she'll take 1 drop of blood from your finger and analyze it under a microscope in her lab. And, you can call her at 901-602-7063. Now, that 1 drop of blood will tell you everything that's going on with you in your life, which you can't get if you went to the doctor and they took blood from. They're not going to tell you everything.
In your body, yeah.
Right. Then it takes 2 to 3 weeks for it to get back. Mm-hmm. But you can find you get your results right then at Tamara Henderson's nutritional blood analysis. And she'll show you up on a big high definition screen what's going on in your blood. And hey, you need to get that done today. Call Tamara Henderson nutritional blood analysis 901-602-7063 or go to the website. Yes, bloodislifecenter.com. That's bloodislifecenter.com. And hey, give her a call today, and she can set you an appointment. Hey,
tell them you heard about it on TalkBackLive.
Yes, oh, definitely, she'll know. But hey, you will find out about what's going on with you that you have not been able to figure out if anything was going on. You didn't feel good. You were what? Some other things going on. You'll be able to find out in the blood. All right, Johnson's going to do it for us, and we'll see you tomorrow. Also, this afternoon, 3 p.m. and at 5. Yes.
Also, shout out to CJU's Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue.
Yes.
Memphis, Tennessee, with the best in used appliances, refrigerators, stoves, washers, dryers, dishwashers, deep freezers, and more.
Yes.
Call the number 901-487-7882.
And they have the best and cleanest used appliances, folks, you'll ever find anywhere in the Mid-South, guaranteed. And they have delivery services available as well. And check out their nice selection of refrigerators, side-by-side refrigerator freezers with ice makers and all those things. Check them out. That's CJU's Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue, and the number is
901-487-7882.
That's CJU's Appliances. C Graphics Printing, 890 East Range Road, 30 plus years of quality work and service. Hey, you need to call them today, 901-345-9294. C Graphics Printing takes care of all of your printing needs for business cards, letterheads or flyers, posters, graduation invitations, and all kinds of things that you need to be taken care of. And they'll take care of it right there at C Graphics Printing. Again, 890 East Range Road, 30 plus years of quality work and service. Go by and see CJ and the good people, not CJ, go by and see Eddie at C Graphics. Yes. And they'll take care of all of your needs. All right.
That's it.
And Labana Children's Hospital has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And our good friend also at the Tennessee Highway Patrol, Sergeant Chris Richardson. And nice job at the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Another one of our good advertisers as well. Take care of business on the roadways. Hey, have a good day. We'll see you later on the day. C&S Motors Auto Sales, located at 2508 Summer Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-323-8778. C&S Motors Auto Sales has been around since 1984. Go by and see Chris today for some of the best pre-owned and used vehicles in the city. They have SUVs, minivans, cars, trucks, whatever you're looking for in pre-owned used vehicles. Hey, you can find it right there at C&S Motors Auto Sales. See Chris since 1984. They will treat you right. Call them at 901-323-8778. That's 901-323-8778. 2508 Summer Avenue, C&S Motors Auto Sales.
Once again, Le Bonheur has been recognized by U.S. News and World Report as a Best Children's Hospital. We're incredibly proud of this distinction. But do you know what this badge really means to you as a parent? This badge means that you can have the peace of mind knowing that your child is in the best hands. It's a stamp of approval for families to know that our team is providing excellent care for every child. By being transparent with our results, we strive to constantly improve our safety and quality. Thanks to Le Bonheur's reputation, we're able to bring world-renowned physicians such as those in our Top 10 Heart program right here to Memphis. We're honored by this recognition, but we're most proud of the care that we deliver to children and families every day. On behalf of the team at Le Bonheur Children's Hospital, thank you for trusting us with your